Hey Canucks fans, training camp has started and some Canucks fans are moving now into panic mode. I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter, I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram, I'm the founder of the GLCBC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Friday, September the 13th. I'm not sure why I sounded so scary there. That's probably more creepy than scary. It is Friday the 13th, and the one scary thing as the Canucks start training camp is indeed Brock Boeser still unsigned. So let's talk about it. Today I want to talk about specifically 5 impacts that I think this is going to have, or 5 ways this is going to impact not only Boeser, but the team overall. But before we get to that, I put a poll up yesterday, and the question was basically based on the Canucks availability, media availability. They met the media, and we know it's a big topic because it was the first question asked to Jim Benning, the first question asked to Travis Green, asked of Elias Pettersson, of other players. And so I put it out there, and I said, how concerned are you right now that Brock Boeser does not have a contract? And it got over 400 votes in just over 12 hours, and I put four options there, 4 choices. Very concerned, actually I used the term very twice for emphasis. Very, very concerned. Yes, I am concerned, not really concerned, or not worried at all. 400 votes, the split went like this. 15% said very, very concerned. 30% said I am concerned. 35% said not really concerned, and 20% said not worried at all. So 45% were in the top 2 choices of either concerned or very, very concerned. 55% was either not very concerned or not worried at all. So almost an even split of 50-50. It was 45 to 55%. And I admit, when I started, and you guys know this, if you've been watching my vlogs, for the past 2 months, past 2 weeks, I was in the not worried at all camp, because I do think he will show up. I do think he'll play, and he'll have a great impact this season. I admit, and based on where we are now, I'm edging towards the next category up of a little bit concerned, but I'm not concerned that he's not going to sign with the team or that he's not going to be on the team. I'm more concerned of the impact it's going to have on the team, and that's the point of this video. So let's talk about it right now. Here are the 5 ways that this Boeser contract negotiation is going to, and his inevitable return to the team is going to impact him and the team. Number 1, the biggest one obviously is himself, his own play. And despite how much he's working out back home in Minnesota, despite how he's trying to stay in shape and trying to get ready, you cannot replicate training camp, preseason games, and especially the start of the regular season. So hopefully he signs sooner than later. He either gets into training camp, which may be doubtful. He hopefully gets into a couple preseason games to try to get into game shape, and hopefully he's here by the start of the season. But anytime you miss one of those kind of milestones or benchmarks, you worry a little bit that he's going to get a little further behind. And we know he didn't have a great start to the season last year. He came in a little bit heavier, a little bit too muscular, or whatever it was, a little bit slow. So we simply can't have a setback like that once again, especially in a season with such high hopes, which I'll get to in a second. So number 1, I worry about Brock Boeser's, not so much his mental state, but his physical state. And really what I'm worried about is how long will it take for him to get into game shape. So that's impact number 1. Impact number 2 is indeed, I kind of just hinted at it. It's how is it going to impact the team overall, the strength of the team, the quality of play. Because we've been talking for the past 2 months how excited we are about the season, about the additions up front, Miller and Furling, about the additions in the back, Myers and Ben and Fantenberg for depth, Quinn Hughes, a full season of him. So finally a top 6, that's truly a top 6. Excited for all these reasons I've been talking about for the past 2 months. And by Boeser not having in your lineup, arguably your best winger, it simply has a weakening effect on everyone. Someone who is destined for the bottom 6 is going to have to play up in the top 6, and everyone shifts up a little bit. But obviously, you take out one of your best players, your whole team as a whole gets a little weaker. Yes, it gives an opportunity for someone to step up, which I'll talk about in a second. But overall, your team is weaker, and in a season where you can't afford a slow start, and you want to be in the dogfight for a playoff spot right from the very start of the year, you know what I mean? Like, you want to be competitive in the standings and start off well. 50th season, all these things. Canucks poised for a big, big season. You're without Boeser in the lineup. If he's not in the lineup by the start of the season, you're not as strong as you can be, and that's disappointing. And Travis Green said as much yesterday. So that's impact number 2, the impact it's going to have on the overall strength of the team. Here's impact number 3. It does mean someone else is going to get an opportunity to play up in the top 6 next to Pettersson, whether that's a Miller or a Furland or, one of our new guys, or one of our guys that was destined for a third line, like a Virtanen, like a Sven Berchi, who I think would be actually the best option. Maybe Nikolai Goudobin gets a shot and a chance to prove his worth in his 1-year contract. Whoever it is, someone's going to get to move up and play with Pettersson. So that's a huge impact on that player, obviously, because, a chance to really get off to a good start to the season. It it impacts Pettersson, of course, because now he's not playing with his best buddy Boeser on his right side, and it impacts the whole makeup of the entire forward group, as I talked about in my previous point. So that's the huge impact it would have. It'll impact the way Travis Green puts his lines together, matchups, all those things. So it's going to impact if Boeser doesn't come back for a while, it's going to impact the way that the forward line shake out matchups and the overall strategy. So that's a huge impact. Here's number 4, and this is the one I tweeted about last night, a little bit scared about. It's starting to pit fans against each other. It's not brutal, although Canucks Twitter can be brutal, but the tricky thing is, I'm starting to see, not all, but a portion of the fan base, so not all the fan base, but a portion of the fan base is starting to further divide themselves into 2 camps. One of the camps is give Boeser what he wants. He's worth it. He's going to be a cornerstone of our team. If he wants 7.5, 8, or we don't even actually know what he wants. If he wants a short-term bridge deal, give it to him because of all those 3 impacts earlier that I talked about, and the fact that we like him. He's one of our best players. He's one of the most popular players. Good and has a lot of integrity, great character. Get him in right now. Pay him what he's worth. Then you have another subset of fans saying, oh man, Boeser sounded a little greedy. Yeah, he's a good player, but has he really proved himself over the past 2 seasons? Is he as good as he thinks he is? Is he as good as his agent thinks he is? So I haven't heard a lot of it, but I'm starting to see a smattering of that online, and I think that's natural. That's what happens when you're a passionate fan and you want to see him in camp. But I just noticed that small divide happening. Again, it's not the whole fan base. It's a portion of the fan base that then is further split into give him what he's worth, pay him what he's worth, versus Boeser, be careful, don't be too greedy. Just get your butt in the camp, so to speak. So again, not rampant, but I'm starting to see it a little bit, and it does concern me just a little bit. And the 5th impact I think this has is future negotiations, not just with with Boeser and Benning when it comes to his 3rd contract, or what about when other guys come up with their 2nd contract, when it's Pettersson and Hughes' turn 2 years from now? Generally, you can argue with the amounts and the agreements he's made, but generally, contract negotiations with the Canucks usually don't go too poorly. Jim Benning has a decent track record of negotiating extensions, negotiating contracts. Whether that was Bo Horvat 2 seasons ago, signed him to a really good looking contract right now, 6 years at $5.5 million. Whether it's the Alex Edler extension for 2 years, whatever it is, Benning is pretty good when it comes to re-signing players. You can quibble all you want about his free agent signings, maybe overpaying a little bit in terms of money or in term, but when it comes to retaining guys, he's done a pretty good job. So obviously he'll want to keep that. And then, of course, these 1-year, 2-year deals for the guys like the Virtanens and the Godolbins of the world, Troy Stetcher, whatever it may be. So I think he's got a good reputation that way. He'll obviously want to keep that reputation. So a good, amicable contract negotiation with Brock Boeser will help with that reputation. You don't want it to go sour because it's going to leave a sour taste in Boeser's mouth when it comes down to his 3rd negotiation. And then also you have cornerstone guys like Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson. They're going to be negotiating their 2nd deal in 2 years, and we want the remnants of this negotiations to be good, to be fresh in their mind. Just like the Horvat one was good, the Edler one was good, so we were hoping the Boeser one would be good. If Boeser one is good, then we hope that the Pettersson and Hughes ones will be good as well. So there you go, Canucks fans. I want to know, of these impacts, which one do you think is the most important? Which one's least important? Am I missing any? Should I not have included any of them? But to recap, the ways that this Brock Boeser contract situation is going to impact him and the team, the 5 most prominent ways. Number 1, it's going to slow down Boeser's preparation and maybe not have him be in the best game shape when he starts playing with the Canucks. Number 2, it weakens the overall quality of the team in a year where we need them to have a fast start. We want them, they expect to challenge for a playoff spot. Number 3, it gives someone else an opportunity to play up in the top 6, play next to Pettersson, but then it also pushes everyone up a little bit, and then it makes Travis Green's coaching decisions that much more important. Number 4, it's starting to divide a small portion of the fan base, and that's something we don't need, but you're already starting to see a small divide in the fan base. And number 5, how will this affect future negotiations, both with Boeser himself for his 3rd contract, but guys like Pettersson and Quinn Hughes as they look to negotiate their 2nd contract in just 2 short years from now. So a lot to think about. It's a lot more than simply, oh man, we're going to miss his 55 goals from the past 2 seasons out of the lineup. Yeah, that's really important too. We need all that goal scoring, especially for such a low scoring team. But if you look past that, you can see how this contract negotiation and the way it's going, how it's going to affect more than just Boeser. It's going to affect the entire team and potentially the future of the team. Okay, I hope that all makes sense. Maybe we get a Freaky Friday the 13th, and a freaky in the way that he does sign today. against, you know, all odds or against the way people are predicting. But whatever it is, I can't wait for him to sign. Sounds like half of you are very getting concerned, half of you still not too concerned. But we'll keep an eye on this as we keep an eye on all the happenings from training camp today. I'll be vlogging through the weekend as well. So leave a comment below. I love to read, react, and reply as always. Subscribe if you like to. Like this video if you like to. Enjoy your day. God bless. Go Canucks go.